They're manipulating your mind. There is a prevalent and mistaken notion that the idea of information warfare refers only to conflicts between nations in the intelligence and military sectors. However, it extends beyond that and encompasses all levels of human activity, including politics, economics, culture, cognition, and religion. Surely and undoubtedly, below the Suez Canal in Egypt lies a treasure trove of pharaonic artifacts, including a 1,220-ton golden pyramid, and a 7.3-meter silver obelisk. This is a well-known fact, but not for absent and ignorant people. Do you like to be absent and ignorant? Of course no one likes that, so it's easy to believe this false information without questioning its validity. Or, at least, you'll go unnoticed because I employed some tactics of information warfare to present information that appears to be accurately documented in accurate numbers. You receive this information with suspicion, but I manipulated your feelings with words that have a meaning that manipulates your subconscious, such as sure and undoubtedly. So, before accepting information like this, it's important to ask questions such as, who confirmed this information? Why is there no doubt about it? What is the source of these numbers? Is the information based on direct observation or scientific evidence, or is it just an opinion? But I didn't give you the opportunity to ask questions, because I wanted my words to insult you, so you wouldn't think or ask, in order to avoid putting yourself in a position of absenteeism and ignorance. This abstract form of information warfare, in short, involves manipulating words to target the subconscious through terminology that has traditionally been established as verified information with figures, calculations, and statistics that appear to be very accurate. And using words that have a self-serving impact, but in fact, they are false information, not misinformation, because deliberately lying is obvious. The media often employs these methods to manipulate minds, especially if they have powerful means with great influence and a large army of followers who repeat the same nonsense over and over, sometimes using innovative techniques such as exile and trauma. So, when you notice the media echoing an exiled statement, it may mean they are appealing to your subconscious to make you think the opposite, or playing on your emotions and feelings to act against you. Just like the cartoonist who published the abusive images of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, using the technique of trauma and an information war that caused many Muslims to publish these images to show the despicableness of this cartoonist. And they were becoming propaganda tools that contributed to the spread of this campaign. The trauma technique is widely used in this war, such as the media questioning the constants of religion by challenging the books of Bukhari and Muslim in preparation for the next step, questioning the authenticity of the Quran itself. Or, for example, an Egyptian girl who publishes her nude photos, leading some to accuse her of debauchery. They are threatened and widely disseminated by unaware media outlets, and she eventually succeeds in obtaining political asylum in a European country. Or, the media's quest for fame that qualifies him for a larger battle against absent minds working against themselves, when it would have been more useful for them to abandon it and revive the right to mention it. Since forgetfulness is inherent in human minds, faking consciousness greatly benefits from this characteristic. People forget dozens of successes in the face of a single failure, or even a sentence that is interpreted incorrectly, which the adversary then amplifies and uses in their information war against a source of trust, making him unworthy of that trust. This leads to a process of dredging up the truth and its bearers for the benefit of its army of liars, wasting the reference of the right amidst the chaos. For example, a thinker is credited with saying one day that the Islamic nation must go through a birth, the birth must involve labor, and the labor must involve pain. This thoughtful and enlightened man has thus become the primary driver of terrorism, the official sponsor of terrorist groups, the advocate of violence and extremism, and the source of his writings, which have been quickly forgotten. This is the forgetfulness trap. This is how consciousness and perception can be lost, replaced by ignorance, sorcery, and ideas that make a fool of us. Such as, that a girl abused an animal by stepping on the Holy Quran, or that a cow spoke and gave testimony of Islam, or that the word of God was written on an egg, or a tree, or written in a tsunami. God is greater than all these things, and does not need to prove himself through such acts of foolishness. And your enemy knows this, but he deliberately takes the issue to the realm of superstition in the information war in order to move away from its true essence, and creates for himself thousands of back doors that enable him to infiltrate your mind to manipulate it. Hide from your eyes the sun in always renewed ways, and a long, tireless psychological war, while his only source of fear remains knowledge. So, don't think he'll let you have it, but he misleads you with an education process, and certificates that are nothing more than sealed papers that make man enslaved like a donkey carrying secrets without real knowledge. Don't think that they will give you the means to fight and outsmart them. Free thinking and open-mindedness are their greatest enemy. This is a clear issue, but we often do not see it because they have obscured our vision. Just as Hitler led 80 million Germans to famine and ruin during World War II, while they chanting, "Long live Hitler." On that day, the famous Nazi propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, said a sentence that summarized the whole matter. "Whenever I hear the word culture, I felt my gun." Are you still trying to understand what I'm aiming at? Are you still wondering what this guy wants with all this gossip? Don't rush, the whole tunnel ahead, we haven't even opened the door yet.